The mystery hidden in every meal. Why Jews don't eat shrimp, crab, or squid. Imagine strolling through a bustling seafood market in Barcelona, Lisbon, or Amsterdam. The irresistible aroma of grilled lobster mingling with the salty sea breeze. Trays overflowing with fresh crab, glistening squid, and everyone around eagerly picking out those familiar treasures of the ocean that are staples of European cuisine. Yet amid the crowd, some people, often Jews, quietly pass by, stopping only at the stalls with salmon, mackerel, or cod. They don't even glance at the dishes many Europeans regard as symbols of luxury and freshness. Why? It's not an allergy, not a personal preference, and certainly not ignorance of good food. It's a deliberate choice, rooted in an ancient system of rules more than 3,000 years old, still strictly observed even in modern, diverse European society. This system is called kosher, from the Hebrew word meaning fit or proper. It is clearly outlined in the Old Testament, Torah, specifically in Leviticus chapter 11, as part of the sacred covenant between God and the people of Israel. You shall distinguish between the unclean and the clean. Leviticus 11:47. For many Europeans, this concept may seem unfamiliar or even controversial, especially when it comes to religious slaughter methods, shechita. But it is a vital part of Jewish heritage, one that has helped shape European culture over centuries.
This challah is baked fresh this morning. It's perfect for the Shabbat dinner.
Historical origins. From the ancient desert to modern Europe. Kosher is no arbitrary set of rules. It emerged in a context where the Israelites lived among neighboring civilizations, Egypt, Canaan, Babylon, where food was often tied to polytheistic rituals. The Torah established dietary laws to help this people live distinctly, with discipline, and in constant remembrance of their divine origins. In European history, kosher became a symbol of resilience. From the Middle Ages, when Jews were confined to ghettos in Venice, Prague, or Frankfurt, to World War II, when Jewish prisoners in concentration camps still tried to adhere to these dietary rules to preserve their identity. Today, Europe hosts significant Jewish communities in France, the UK, Germany, the Netherlands, and beyond, and kosher remains visibly present. In Paris, London, or Berlin, you can find kosher supermarkets, kosher restaurants, and kosher certification on many products. However, debates over shechita, slaughter without prior stunning, have been intense in some countries, leading to restrictions or bans in certain regions. This reflects the tension between religious freedom and modern animal welfare standards. Nevertheless, kosher endures strongly, proving it is more than tradition. It is how a small people maintains its identity at the heart of diverse Europe. Seafood rules. Simple, yet strict. The Torah states clearly, only aquatic creatures with both fins and scales may be eaten. This means familiar European favorites like Norwegian salmon, North Atlantic cod, or Atlantic mackerel are permitted. But shrimp, crab, lobster, squid, mussels, oysters, and clams, beloved across the Mediterranean and Northern Europe, are strictly forbidden because they lack fins and scales. The Torah offers no lengthy explanation, but Jewish commentators over the centuries have provided insightful perspectives. Nachmanides, 13th century, argued that fish with fins and scales dwell in the clearer upper waters, near the air and light, symbolizing purity, while shrimp and crab crawl along the muddy bottom, absorbing a cold and clammy moisture that represents spiritual impurity. Maimonides emphasized that kosher laws train self-discipline, helping people master desires and elevate the soul. From a modern scientific viewpoint, some studies note that shellfish are prone to accumulating toxins or bacteria, such as Vibrio, in ancient conditions without proper preservation. Though today, with technology, seafood is safer, the primary reason remains religious, not medical. Compared to other European faiths, Christianity has no strict seafood rules, after Jesus declared all foods clean in the New Testament, while Islam, halal, permits most seafood. Kosher thus stands out as a unique system, stressing distinction and discipline. Expanding the analysis, kosher is not just about seafood. a comprehensive and fascinating system. Kosher extends to every corner of food, forming a complex yet logical ecosystem of eating. Let's break it down. Land animals must both chew the cud, like cows grazing, and have fully cloven hooves. Cattle, sheep, and goats, gentle herbivores, are allowed, symbolizing purity. Pigs are forbidden because, though they have cloven hooves, they do not chew the cud. Historically, pork was linked to pagan rituals, such as offerings to Baal in Canaan. Interestingly, in modern Israel, pork is raised mainly for tourism or non-Jewish communities, creating cultural gray zones. Birds and insects. Birds of prey like eagles are banned for eating live flesh, representing violence. Only chicken and duck are permitted. Most insects are forbidden, except certain locusts, an ancient desert food, even mentioned in the Bible, eaten by John the Baptist. Slaughter process, shechita. This is one of the most intriguing aspects. Animals must be slaughtered swiftly with a sharp knife, causing no pain. Modern research shows this method reduces stress hormones compared to industrial stunning, and all blood must be drained, since blood represents life, Leviticus 17:11, and belongs to God alone. Picture a trained shoche in Jerusalem today. He inspects the knife 3 times, prays, and performs the act, a ritual blending humanity and holiness. No mixing of meat and dairy, based on the command, do not cook a kid in its mother's milk. Exodus 23:19. Jews use separate utensils and wait 3 to 6 hours between meat and dairy meals. Deeper analysis. This may originally have countered ancient pagan practices, cooking meat and milk to invoke fertility, but it also teaches separation, much like distinguishing clean from unclean. Overall, kosher transforms eating into an art of living. Every choice becomes an opportunity for reflection and self-improvement. Each meal thus becomes a small ritual, reminding one of faith and identity. Kosher in today's Europe, balancing tradition and modernity. In France, the UK, Germany, or the Netherlands, kosher is no longer exotic. Many major supermarkets have kosher sections, and certification marks, K or OU, appear on products from bread to soft drinks. The European kosher industry thrives, especially in Paris, home to Western Europe's largest Jewish community, and London. Despite restrictions on shechita in some countries, Jewish communities maintain kosher observance, often by importing certified meat or choosing parev foods, neither meat nor dairy. This demonstrates that kosher is not merely religious, but a symbol of cultural diversity in Europe. Deeper meaning and modern lessons. From meals to a philosophy of life. In the end, kosher teaches that limits are not restrictions, but sources of strength. The Jewish people, who make up about 0.2% of the world's population, yet have earned a disproportionately high share of Nobel Prizes, may owe much to the discipline fostered by these laws. It prompts the question, why do I eat this? A question modern society, with its fast food and waste, could benefit from asking. In our globalized world, kosher reminds us of the value of difference, not opposition to seafood, but choosing one's own path. Think of the Jews in Israel or Europe. They are not missing out. They are deliberately choosing a vibrant heritage. And perhaps it is this very resilience that has turned a small nation into an enduring symbol. Kosher shows that boundaries can be empowering. In an increasingly globalized and diverse Europe, upholding ancient rules reminds us of the importance of identity, discipline, and respect for differences. Jews do not miss out on lobster or crab. They choose a distinct path, one that has enabled their people to survive and contribute to European civilization for centuries. The next time you savor a seafood platter on the Mediterranean or North Sea coast, consider the Jews nearby. They are not lacking desire. They simply choose a more meaningful way to enjoy, tied to faith, tradition, and enduring strength. And perhaps that very difference has enriched the cultural tapestry of Europe in which we all live.